Seigneury Kahnawake, Chief Mike Delisle here, Ratsénhaienhs Mike Delisle, as we're trying to get away from the word. Welcome and thank you for having me into your homes. It's been quite some time, several months in any case, prior to election. So my first opportunity here on Chief's Uncut. I've done interviews in local newspapers, external media, and K103 radio, but first time here in this venue. So thank you for re-electing me, number one. Thank you for having the confidence, and I'm going to do my best as I always have in the past. So, Nyawangoa. Many of the files that I held last term, I relinquished, given the fact that we have 5 brand new council members. Congratulations to them as well. And a few new returning council members who, again, have one-term experience, so to speak. So last term, I focused a little bit more on administration, being the chair of Finance Administration Operations Committee, being involved in some of the, I'll say, more internal Kahnawake files. This time around, obviously everyone knows that Ratsénhaienhs is now the Grand Chief. Having the opportunity to get back into a more political role, I'll say. I had my eye on several portfolios coming into election, after election going through orientation, some stress training that was put forward by administration, which all went well over the course of July and August. Got into portfolio selection and happy to report and very pleased that I was granted just about everything that I had hoped for in the portfolio selection. Number one being involved in external government relations. I am the lead on Quebec Kahnawake relations file as the main table chief, reporting back to the table, being involved in the external government portfolio team itself, not only as QKR representative, but also as the lead negotiator once we get back to the table. I'll get into that in a moment, on the Seigneury of Sault St. claim. Grievance, as we like to call it. So those are 2 major external bodies that I'm involved with, and again, very pleased, and I think they go together well because Quebec has had issues with Seigneury in the past, and I'm hoping to re-engage them. It's interesting because former, I'll say, adversary, but although I call him my friend, former Minister Jeff Kelly from the provincial government jumped sides, if you will. The Quebec government now, the CAQ, crossed party lines as their chief negotiator, Florent Gagné, was retiring over the summer and they needed a replacement. So they crossed party lines, approached Jeff Kelly, knowing that he has an understanding of Kahnawake as the former Minister of Indigenous Affairs, as we call it, for Quebec, and gladly took the role. So we're engaged with him, actually meeting with him in the next couple of days. I've met with him for a few times already, discussing the outdated statement of understanding and mutual respect, as well as the framework agreement that lays out our relationship with Quebec, which has been, I'll say, almost non-existent for the previous 3 years since François Legault has taken over. So we're trying to re-energize that. We're getting closer, we're making steps, positive steps, and all leading to a meeting that will happen between Ratsénhaienhs and Premier Legault sometime in the near future, very hopefully. So again, glad to be part of that. Seigneury is a different matter. There's been floundering on the federal side for the better part of 6 years now. There's been no real negotiation other than discussion on wordsmithing of the protocol that lapsed about 6 years ago or so. Letters were delivered on Remembrance Day when the new minister, Mark Miller, was put in place and came here to visit and lay a wreath, delivered by Ratsénhaienhs, to say we are not happy with the Seigneury lack of momentum and we're looking to reinvigorate it from your side as well as ours. So we've yet to receive a response from him on that, but we're hopeful and are looking to honestly take some actions, which we can report in due course, probably soon after the holidays. But there are activities planned to reinitiate in terms of actions, not just words and letters, that file itself. I've maintained the labor file under the boards and commissions portfolio, which I was the chair of last term, which really didn't get off the ground, mostly due to COVID, other than anything else, our inability to gather and what have you, and the amount of work that was taken on by a lot of our administrative staff, some of which were doing, I won't say the vaccinations, but in the clinics and so on. So it didn't move forward. I know that Chief Ryan Montour has an interest in it too, and he is the new chair of that boards and commissions portfolio. We're going to transition over the course of the next little while with labor, MSI, and what have you, dealing with the construction issues in the community as well as externally, meeting with provincial representatives from CCQ, RBQ, and so on. So interesting file there, also connected to the Quebec file. So like I said, the interconnectivity of the portfolios that I have. The last thing I'll talk about here is a very interesting project that's been a long time in the making, more than 10 years on Hydro-Quebec side, and approximately 6 to 8 years on the Kahnawake side, called the Hertel Interconnection Line. It's a 57-kilometer linkage from Highway 15, near, everyone knows where Costco and Walmart is, around Highway 15, 132 juncture, near Highway 30, to the US border. We are true partners in this. It's not going to impact Kahnawake proper per se. There's no lines coming in and through our community. It's a underground line that will run, like I said, from that juncture of La Prairie, Highway 15, to the US border, and then all the way into Manhattan. More details to come, more information coming. We're putting together a whole communication plan, but we're in the throes of negotiating it as New York State, New York City has found us about 2 months ago to be the successful bidder, the partnership between the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake on behalf of Kahnawake and Hydro-Quebec. So a lot of more information to come in terms of where we're at in negotiation, what we're looking for, what some of the advantages are. But again, this partnership, and I have to keep reiterating the term partnership because that's what it is. It's not a tacit agreement. It's not something that they're utilizing Kahnawake for as the token Indian, as it's called. We are true partners. Ratsénhaienhs and others from the council traveled to New York City about a month ago or so and met with the mayor's office in New York, along with the president of Hydro-Quebec, Sophie Brochot, and her entourage. We met with Sophie in the 2 days after we were found to be the successful bidder. She's a very genuine person. We believe that even though we've had a relationship with Hydro-Quebec in the past, this is the beginnings of, not only for Kahnawake, but real beginnings for Indigenous relations, as she calls it, with every community in and around Quebec. She's got a new idea, a new outlook, and I think it's very positive, not only for us, but for Indigenous people across this land. So those are just a few of the areas that I'm involved in. Again, very happy to be back, glad on the files that I have. Extremely busy, as I was just talking to several people in and around the community and council. I don't remember, I can't recall a time when I've been this busy. And not just myself, the rest of council. There are many, many files. I didn't even touch on housing, which I'm helping mentor Alan John Rice and Ryan Montour, who is the portfolio chief at this time, on not only catch up and historical background, but communication and dealing with the real issues in housing moving forward. I said I would end it with Hertel, but there's so many files that are active at this point. Very busy, mostly good. Kerm as well is starting to wind down, and we're hoping the pandemic soon follows, turning into an endemic. It's been a difficult time, obviously, for the entire community for the past year and a half, 2 years, for reasons I've mentioned, and some of which you already know. So again, I won't go any further. More to come on the Hertel project, which is groundbreaking and I think essential for future revenue generation for Kahnawake and the partnership with Hydro-Quebec. More to come on Seigneury, so expect me back into your home in the coming months to report on that, as well as between the relationship between MCK, Kahnawake, and the province of Quebec, which to me, again, I believe is essential moving forward politically. So all of that in several minutes. Nyawangoa for your attention. Have a good week, and we'll see you soon. Nyawangoa.